Lions win, baby. 34-17 over the Chicago Bears. Matthew Stafford had a day. 390 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Had that fumble, wasn't really his fault. Jared Allen made a good play on Sims, but it was amazing. That was the Thanksgiving game that we've been waiting for. We had one last year, but I mean, to be able to string 2 blowouts like that in a row in a year was pretty sweet. And coming off the 2 ugly losses, being able to put up 34 points was awesome. Seeing as that this is only the 4th time all season they've been able to put up at least 24 points. So it jumped their season average, their scoring average, up 2 points. So now they're in the 19s, which puts them, I think, 24th in scoring offense. So that helps out a little bit. They should keep going in the future. But looking back to yesterday, I mean, everything worked. That first quarter was kind of like the last 2 weeks. Defense gave up 2 quick touchdowns. The offense went 3 and out, and then had the fumble on the first play of the second drive, and it was just, holy shit, here we go again. But they said no. Second quarter came around, 3 touchdowns in the second quarter, go up 24-14 at the half, and then outscore them 10-3 in the second half. So after those 2 touchdowns, those 2 quick touchdowns in the first quarter, Lions outscored them 31-3. I mean, see what happens when you let Stafford go. You give him protection. You up the attempt. Instead of trying to run to set up the pass, they were actually passing to set up the run finally. Stafford found Calvin for 2 touchdowns. Tate, I think, had like 8 receptions. Fourier had 1. Pettigrew had 1. So he got everyone involved. I think I counted 8. There might have been more, but 8 off the top of my head I can think of. That's awesome. That's what everyone's been crying about, is that he doesn't distribute the ball enough, but he hasn't had time to distribute the ball. And yesterday he had time, and look what happened. And the naysayers can say, oh, well, that's the Chicago defense. They suck, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? After we beat Green Bay, their next game is when their whole hot streak started, and they've been going crazy since then. That was against Chicago. And maybe it's just that magical elixir that we needed to get the offense going. It was just playing a team like that, get the confidence going. Yeah, the play calling was great. We had some shots downfield. We had some quick passes. We had some screens, running at the right times. It was going forward on 4th down. Man, everything about that game yesterday was awesome after the first quarter. Obviously, that first quarter was rough, but that actually kind of made it more exciting, because then it wasn't just smooth sailing the whole game. It was, oh, shit, we have to come back. What was Trestman thinking? I mean, I know our defense is stout, but 8 rushes in the entire game. I saw a stat they're only the 12th team to rush for 8 or less times in the last 20 years or some shit like that. That's crazy. I mean, 8 times for 13 yards, which, I mean, it's awesome. That dropped our per game average of rushing given up from 70 to 65. So I want to thank you again, Chicago. That choice to fire Lovie Smith, that was a great decision. Mark Trestman, you have all of our support over here in Detroit, and we hope you keep your job. Thinking about the defense, after those two quick touchdowns, Chicago was doing quick passes. I think they did a wide receiver screen every drive. It was crazy. I think Trestman came out and said that was the game plan, to use the quick passing game as a running game, and they did it to perfection the first couple of drives. It was bad. I don't know what that defense was doing, but after that it clamped down and we gave up 3 points the rest of the game. So kudos to Terrell Austin again, as if he needed any more kudos to shut that offense down. It was awesome. And we moved back up into 2nd place in total defense. We dropped down to 3rd after giving up over 400 yards to New England last week. I mean, there's not a lot of things to go over. I mean, that was just a thorough butt kicking. The passing game was working, defense was working. We got 2 picks off of Cutler, a couple more sacks. Stafford was pretty much clean. I think he had 2 sacks, but I mean, that's amazing for us. Usually we give up 4 or 5, so 2 is an improvement, seeing as that we didn't have Reef again, like I expected, and Bush didn't play. I thought he would play, but he didn't. But they still won. They won by 17, which was my prediction. I said 27-7 or 27-10, and they won 34-17. So I was off by a touchdown both ways, so they still won by 17. What this does to our playoffs, the Lions came into this at the 7 spot, and regardless of what happens this weekend, they'll be at the 6th spot at the worst, because Dallas drops below us. We jump up to the 6th spot since San Francisco lost, Seattle won. So Seattle jumps up 1 to 5, we jump up to 6, and if New England beats Green Bay, then we'll jump up into the 3 spot behind Philly, and then that'll move Green Bay down to the 6th spot, I think. I don't know what their tiebreakers are with Dallas, but either way, we'll go into next week at the 6th seed of the NFC at worst. We got 2 more home games, 4 games left, 2 at home, 2 on the road. Tampa next week, Minnesota the week after that, Chicago again. That's 3 bad teams. I mean, we win those 3, go to 11-4. I think 11 wins gets us in. Hopefully we go into week 17 with a playoff spot already clinched, which will make put the pressure down a little bit. But then that week 17 game will be for the division and possibly the 2nd seed. We'll see what Arizona and Seattle and all them do, and Philly. Like I said, we got Tampa next week at home. Tampa's 2-9. They have just looked atrocious. I don't know how they've won 2 games this year. I mean, they had that magical win against Pittsburgh coming back at the end, and I can't even tell you what their other win was. But Josh McCown is horrible. He's their starter, and I mean, they are bottom in a lot of categories. And they beat us last year, but they also had Revis. They had Mike Glennon was playing a lot better. The Lions were just falling apart. I mean, that was kind of the beginning of the end for them last year. So there's a lot different team. Like I said, Caldwell's awesome. Hopefully Lombardi looks at this game film and says, okay, this is how the offense should be run, and we can continue the streak. But that's really it. I mean, there's not a lot to go over on a game like that. Not a lot went bad, but I hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you guys up on next week to do some kind of video. I might do a video on Monday just for, I'll find something, maybe a playoff video or something like that. I don't know. I'll have something up on Monday, but otherwise I'll see you then. Enjoy the games on Sunday, and let's go New England and go Lions.